PSP and a Suntough Clearview machine. We've also got the Bars Bugs machine down there as well. The Stinger boat with Kevin Roberts at the helm. So this is going to be exciting. After this qualifying round in the Unlimited boats, we are going to have a jet ski show with young Blake and Max out there strutting their stuff on the big stage here at Wonga Vegas Shelterview Aquatrack. Hey Blake, now listen mate, you're going to be belting out there in the on the jet ski. You're planning on trying to get it up on the grass at all?
Well, no, otherwise Dad will be absolutely so angry.
Righto, no worries. Try and keep it in the wet stuff as we go racing with Jacob Simmons, the rookie to Unlimited, formerly out of the Group B category, now got plenty of power at his disposal. Very impressed with the way that this young man is going about it. Paul Newman doing the navigational duties, the Blue Flame 2 engine management. Wow, this young man really stepping up. Oh, just got himself untidy at the top end. Oh, that's not the confidence. Ease the power out of the throttle. Will he slowly get back to it? No, not at the moment. 43.322. Well down on the split. I dare say that little bit of an incident up there at the nut, that has just whacked a little bit of confidence out of young Jacob Simmons, but he's still carrying on, hasn't lost a lot of boat speed, and will post a time of 59.805. 59.805. Paddy Hayden will be the boat out next. We tried to get some details of this engine. We send our roving reporters down there to find out a little bit of information, and he reckons it's out of his mum's VW. I don't think that's quite right. We do know it produces about 1,000 horsepower, and he's sponsored by BD's Tinting and Graphics, Otrahonga Auto Electrics, Colour FX Spray Painting, Dairy Tech, CHL and Upholstery, PSP, Drainage Systems, Magnum Automotive, and New Dick Sheet Metals. Cole Hayden, the man who's pretty good with a rifle around the TA area and indeed New Zealand shooting scene, doing the navigational duties here. Got the camera up on board there. So clear view in place across this red boat. He's painted the red so it goes faster. Paddy Hayden looking pretty good. He's got the mohawk on the helmet. Running through the down across the bottom part of the sweeper into the right left-hand combination. He's been doing that very, very well indeed. So Paddy Hayden with the split coming up now. No, sorry, the final lap there. That's a 53.092. Got myself a little bit lost there. 53.092 for Patrick Hayden. He's actually gone a bit slower, about 0.2 slower than the previous time out, so he'll be a little bit disappointed with that. Our next boat to face the starter will be the Altherm Window Systems machine with Glenn Head at the helm. Hayley Todd doing the navigational duties. We're going to see if we can get Leighton to do a little bit of footage on the way that this particular vessel is started. Launching off the line now is Glenn Head. The man from Hamilton built this twin turbo. A lot of development gone into this in the season that he had off. Oh, that's a tidy little line there. Glenn Head really just starting to squeeze it in. Not all of his 1,700 horsepower that's available to him is he utilising at the moment. The split at a 22.988's a cracker. That's the first split. Around the big sweeping left, now into the sweeping right-hander. Where's this split? This is a 36.232. So Glenn Head's previous best time was a 51.36. He's going to have to get a boogie on if he's going to challenge that. Yes, he will do it, and that is a 49.966. That is quick time, and that He's got plenty of power left in it. What will Glen Head post come the end of the day? I predicted a time of a 49, high 49s. The end of the day, I'm going to have to readjust that thought pattern, I can tell you. I'm going to go now from that run, and Glen Head still plenty left in that. I'm going to have to go as a change that prediction. He's already busted that prediction out in qualifying 3. We are going to go down. I'm going to go down to a 48.267 will be specific. 48.267 will be his time come the end of the day. Call me Cavadamus. Kind of like Nostradamus, but not. All right, so the unlimited super boats. Richard Burt will be out next. No, it will be Kevin Roberts. Kevin Roberts and Kendra Death coming out for their run. So Kevin did a great job into the hairpin last time out. Yeah, setting this up nicely is Kevin. This Nissan Twin Turbo produces 1,500 plus horsepower. The 9-inch hydro pump is the jet unit on the back of it. He's well down on the time that Glen Head posted as far as the first split goes, some 2.5 seconds. But Kevin Roberts really just wants to start getting up it now. Hopefully he's getting that confidence in the rotation. The split at a 42 and some change, 42.624. Just tickling it along at the moment. Well, a little bit vague there he was. He's gone the wrong way. That will explain the vague out. Now he's back on track again, just threw an extra little bit of a loop in there to get Stinger boats, an extra little bit of production time, and a 103.63.972. Hey, we heard recently that the radio stations are pulling the song Do You Hear What I Hear? You know that song, Do You Hear What I Hear? And they're pulling that song from radio broadcasts these days because apparently it's offensive to schizophrenics.
49 seconds from Glen Head, KV. That was an absolute goer, wasn't it?
Oh, mate, that is amazing. That was the time I was predicting for the end of the day, mate. I'm miles off it.
Yeah, he said earlier to me, he said he's got plenty more left, and that was only half throttle. Well, I'll tell you what, you got to believe it.
Oh, yeah, that is just a frighteningly quick time, and he doesn't look like he's pushing it. But we are now going to see Blake Bryant. Blake Bryant posted a cracker last time out. And, well, this 512 cubic inch GM Motorsport LS, this is a cracker engine, cracker setup. And I'll tell you, Blake Bryant, he just looks at everything. He analyses everything to that last little second, doesn't he?
Oh, that hairpin was a cracker then. You can see the water come off the bow of the boat and the way he's got it. But Blake Bryant, it looks like he's got the bit 23.763. What a cracker.
Yeah, gee, I'll tell you, this Bars Bug machine, they just do so much work on the off-season. Of course, Blake Bryant, Blake's father, working right alongside. Oh, that's a good split, 37.246.
Oh, he's on it. Blake and Kate. He's certainly got the bug bat. We saw him go a little bit soft later on last year, but has Kate got him back on track as he comes around now. Big finish with a 51.572. I tell you what, that time kept clicking over. I thought he was going to do a 50.
Yeah, that's right. And he's 1.5 seconds slower than the time that Glen Head posted. So, look, things hotting up already in the unlimited category, and we're only in qualifying round number 3. Like, I'm just finding this phenomenal.
That's why I thought I'd come up here, mate. I was getting a bit excited down there watching. I thought, well, I better come up here and have a bit of a chin wag with you and just before lunch, because these big super dupers are really bringing it on, and it's coming on early. It's before lunch.
Yeah, isn't it? Well, it was sort of funny. I heard you through my headphones, and I was looking down to the pit and paddock area and turned around and you're behind me. Please don't stand that close to behind me in the future if you don't mind, mate. It just makes me feel a bit uncomfortable.
You might want a shave and put on some smellies next time.
Yeah, right. Hey, no worries. I'll see what I can do for you, mate. And he's Pip Thompson and Karen Wakeland. Oh, Pip, a massive oversteer out of that left-hander. And I'll tell you, this lady really coming to the fore with aggression this season already.
Oh, absolutely. We watched this last season with Pip. She is one aggressive driver, and really since Hastings last year, she really came on strong. And I'll tell you what, the way that motor's sounding, it sounds every bit aggressive and is looking so far so good from Pip.
Yeah, I think that after the Pip Thompson had Richard Bird alongside her down at Hastings, and I think from that conversation that Richard Bird had with Pip, she's really just sort of gone, right, this is how I go about it. She's had the tutelage from a man who knows how to drive. Probably hasn't got the runs on the board, but he'd certainly like. Oh, she ran really wide, got up on the tyres, and wow, 55.554. Lucky to get away with that. She got really wide up on the tyres, but she got off it quick enough, settled the boat, and then got back onto the power again. There is experience now coming to the fore right there.
Oh, that was huge, mate. She looked like she was joining the Wiggles concert there towards the end. The steering wheel was going, the boat was going, but she's held it all together. And the Link racer, Pip Thompson, is heading back and posted a good time, 55.554. She'll be happy, but I tell you what, that was hair-raising.
Yeah, absolutely. Geez, every time she's out on the track, you've got to keep your eyes on it. Hey, Scotty Donald coming out next. Scott will just go about his business as he normally does. But, hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, here's a bit of a theory from me. If your parachute does not open, you have the rest of your life to sort it out.
Thud.
No, that's absolutely ridiculous. Oh, tell me some of the jokes you got out of the Christmas cracker stand. I read a few and they were just not worthy of remembering. They were just terrible.
I tell you, they were shockers. I think the crackers were funnier than the jokes. I would say.
Absolutely. Oh, Scotty Donald, he's sort of getting onto it a little bit here and there, and yeah, he's starting to develop a little bit more confidence in this new package because at the Worlds he just had an absolute nightmare.
Oh, mate, we really all felt for him big time. I tell you what, Nicole's doing a great job of getting him around the park. She's been very vigorous in her seat. Obviously, Scotty not a hundy on the track at the moment, but he's back on the loud pedal now. But
it usually takes him a little while to get confidence in the rotation. The split well down of where he'd like to be. It's a 42.3. But he's one of those guys, he just keeps sneaking and getting a bit better each time, developing that confidence in the rotation. And as you said, mate, Nicole's doing a good job keeping him online at the moment.
He's bringing her on. Second split, finish 57.903. So even though he was a little bit untidy, he was only a couple of seconds off Pip. Of course, Pip Thompson costing herself a lot of time when she clipped those tyres out the back there at the Visit Wanganui sign.nz.
Yeah, and look, Visit Wanganui, they do such a good job promoting a lot of activity around Wanganui, and it's great to see that you got local council really getting behind the events. Obviously, yesterday, the cemetery circuit, you were involved in that many years ago as part of the promotional team down there. And there's just some wonderful things on the 21st of January. We've got the raft race, the Plummerdan rafting race down the river. I'll be over for that one, checking out that and cruising down the river and throwing flower bombs at all the competitors. All right, Aaron Hansen now out on the water. Julianne Shanks, the pair from Tauranga. Aaron Hansen's last run was a cracker.
Aaron Hansen really looks at home in this package. He's got the little 500 in today. We know he's got a big block as well. But since he's got this hull, he really looks settled. His driving is super, super calm. And this little 500 is looking the goods at the moment. First split, 24.186. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing at all. And the way that this boat, you know, his development as a driver has been improving. And once you get into a boat that responds to your inputs, the confidence develops. The split at a 37.858. And I think we're really seeing the result of that confidence here today.
I like how he take the middle of the track there, and here he comes around for the finish. Not quite a sub 50, but a 51.883, and I'll tell you what, there's nothing wrong with that. Aaron Hanks straight into P3.
Yeah, 0.031 slower than Blake Bryant in the Bars Bugs machine.
Who we got left here, Cavey? We've still got some big guns on the ramp by the look of it.
Oh, yeah, mate. big guns. There are always big guns out on the ramp. Baden Gray, Richard Murray. There's in world number 3, Nick Berryman. Just trying to sell
Sir Rob the Third.
Yeah, Sir Rob the Third. But it is now Baden Gray and Darren Todd coming out in the Vickers Aircraft Company machine, of course, brought to you by Ting Tools, Prosper Mortgages and Insurance. And Baden, really good bloke as well, but he does a good job on the mortgages and insurance. So off the line now, the 1200 horsepower vessel called the Specialist, the 434 twin turbo.
I'll tell you what, they've wound up the wick. Baden and his navigator, Darren, the one-eyed navigator, Todd, as they rip out of the hairpin. Nothing wrong with that. That was a tidy one, and the first split is going to tell us the story. Brings around now 23.2, so he was certainly up on the other boys. Let's see what he's got left. There's a bit of work to go. Second,
that knifed it too hard there. As soon as you do that, wash off a little bit of speed. But the split is still good at a 36.963. So Baden Gray in amongst it just looks to be driving a lot harder than we saw Glenn Head drive. So, there is a piece just flying off the boat there. But it's Baden Gray, and it's a 50.798 into P2.
I tell you what, his bit landed in the middle of the island there. It looks like a little exhaust cover or something in the middle, so we'll keep an eye on that. But there is it looks like Chewbacca. Chewie is radioing in, and you can tell by the beard as he calmly walks down to the shore.
Well, let's face it, Chewie can't exactly do anything other than walk. Last time we saw him run, we felt the earth move.
He's commanded the troops, and Chewie looking the leader of love there. He's got one of the troops running out there. It's good to see.
Yeah, he's got one of the younger blokes heading out there, and of course the NZ rescue crew volunteered and got themselves over to Australia for the World Series, and it was fantastic to I spent a bit of time with some of the rescue crew travelling between meetings, and I'll tell you what, there's a few stories there that probably should never ever be told.
I think that might be Darren, the one-eyed navigator's eye patch that they're hanging on to there, mate. I could be wrong here, but that looks like an eye patch.
I'll tell you what, yeah, he's got some big eyes, and that's a little bit of carbon fibre there.
It's actually the reverse bucket. That's the rear reverse bucket bit of carbon fibre. So they'll need that, guys. Don't break it. That is worth a fortune. Okay, let's be careful as we throw it onto the ground.
That's all right, mate. It's already broken, so just smash it, stomp on it, and hand it back to him in pieces, I reckon. As we now go, Richard Murray racing the lone 440 cubic inch ball, the meter machine, the favourite here at Wanganui, the track owner, the promoter, the farmer. Steve Edmonds doing the navigational duties, and I'll tell you, Steve Edmonds a brave man. Richard Murray's breaking more navigators time than I heard of. The split is good at a 24.116.
A little bit down on what you just saw from Baden, but I tell you, this boat, Richard Murray, is showing more toe than Raymond Sand as he brings around for the second. There we go.
37.660. He's pulled. And it's a flame out backwards up onto the bank. And those boys will be rowing that boat home. That is not a good way to end that run. I can tell you that right now. He was actually pulling harder than an anchor man in a tug of war.
I love it. I love it. They're starting to come on, and we've only been together for 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes, KV, and the conversation has changed. Steve's clapping his way past. I tell you.
gone are the days where drivers and navigators, they used to crash the boat and they used to put their head down and be frustrated. These days, they get out and they're like the crusty demons. They get out there, fist pumping, high-fiving themselves. They realise that the crowd love it.
Well, and you're heading up there with that blowing motor and the lights go out. I tell you what, you've got no brakes, no steering. So what happened there for it to just immediately do the spin? Richard grabbing the wheel and flicking it around, and he's just done it in the right time, because that could have been launch time right at the end of the track. So good save by Richard. They'll get onto the bottom of that. They will be back.
I'll tell you what, no brakes, no steering, no brains potentially. I don't know, it's all fairly close in. And the good thing is, mate, again, you know, we can sort of throw a bit of crap down towards the drivers and navigators because, of course, they can't hear us until they actually see the replay on Facebook and things like that.
It's not till a couple of days later.
Yeah, that's right. And then by the time we get back, they've sort of forgotten about it because, let's face it, they are goldfish.
You're an Aussie and I don't answer the phone.
Yeah, that's right. Seems to work very, very well for the pair of us. We've got our escape plans well sorted out. All right, and now it will be Sir Robert the Third Coley, the Mad Dog, in the Mouthfresh machine. And, of course, coming on board with Mouthfresh, the world's best tasting toothpaste, complete oral care for the 2019 Jetsprint Championship. And, well, not only a good bloke, but fantastic to see that this new package is working A-OK so far. But we don't want to put the commentator's mocker on him.
Well, Sir Rob, he launches into a little bit of the wiggle problems coming on out of the old start, but he's calmed the farm. Peter Kay would have been going, just pull it in, we've got a big day ahead, son.
Yeah, that's right, and one of the things is that Peter Coey's really, as we know, just a little bit wide around that hairpin, rubbed up on the tyres a little bit. He won't be worried about that. Rob has this innate reaction to stabbing at the pedal each and every time, and that has caught him unstuck a few times. So it's just trying to calm the mindset down and squeeze the pedal, ease off the pedal when required, because he's certainly a man who's not scared of throwing the boat around the track at all. He's had some of the biggest crashes known to mankind.
Mate, the split's not bad at a 37. He's still got a lot of work to do and had a couple of very untidy corners. Sir Rob brings her home now. He still gets in with a 51.304, but I tell you what, he had a really, really ugly hairpin down here, and of course the start he biffed as well. So there was a good 1.5 seconds he could have pulled out of that. So
yeah, and when you're talking 1.5 seconds, that would have put him right on the time of Baden Gray. So into P3 there for Rob Coley. A little bit of tidying up to do, no doubt about that, as we now see the next of our Link engine management boats coming out, the fourth boat in the team. David Simmons coming off the trailer now. It is John Very from Napier, who lists himself as a business owner. I'll tell you what, no wonder we call him Mushroom Head. So Dave Simmons from Potaka. Is that how you spell that? Pronounce that?
That's it, mate.
All right, get better and better.
Potaka.
Potaka, righto, no worries at all. And this Stinger hull, the LSA 6.2 litre Chev, and this engine link management system. I'll tell you what, they had a few problems with the engine last year, but the engine link management system helped them identify what those problems are. They've been working really hard during the off-season. They've been able to manage to utilise that data and really improve the package that they have at their disposal.
Brand new hull too this year, KV. So they've really old Davo and Jono have been working out flat out. Put a whole new bit of tin under them. They've redone the motor. The splits are 39.9, a little bit down, but it's still a sub 40, so they're getting better.
Yeah, Dave Simmons and John O'Chisataya, these guys are absolute crackers in the pits after racing, but when it's race on, it is absolutely race on, and a 54.875, so that puts them into P7. They won't be overly unhappy about that, but they still got a little way to go as we just wait for our final boat before we take a lunch break. So to be world number 3, Nick Berryman and his wife Rochelle Berryman in the navigator's seat. So this guy, well, the 410 Whipple supercharged vessel, number 3 in the world. This Scott 8 3/4 inch jet unit, the Stinger hull, and around about 1,200 horsepower.
Nick with the big berries, Berryman, we called him over in Oz, and I'll tell you what, he let her up. Let's see what he's got. So far, so good.
Oh, no, that was no good. He just put the bow on that just too tight around there, tried to get the bow to pivot, or the rear end to pivot around the bow. Didn't work well at all.
Now trying to play catch up, gets away with the hairpin beautifully out of there, Kobe.
It's really wild to see he's on his way out of there, the big wall of water that this boat throws up, making it a little bit hard to see the exit to that hairpin.
That turn one really has got, he's lost. He's actually lost. He's sitting there going, come on, someone bring me home. He's, you can see he's pulled out of it.
Yep, they've reconvened. They've had a little bit of a meeting. Now he's back on it again. Now he's back on rotation proper, but yes, he did get a little bit crossed there. So good to see that he's reconvened that, rethought about it, spoke with the navigator, said where do we need to go from here, and carrying on with the lap. Certainly not at the speed that he was coming out right from the start. So they're back on the course, but Nick is very, very concerned, I would dare say, and now deciding to err on the side of caution, take the boat home. So that will be a DNF for world number 3, Nick Berryman.
I tell you what, we will be going to the lunch break very shortly, but keep your eyes peeled on the sky because we have got a flyover from John Luff in a jet. Watch this. It'll be a great show, and I can tell you he's only minutes away. So keep your eyes peeled and listen because the boats will go quiet, but the sky will fire up. We'll see you after lunch.
Yeah, so if you want to get down in the pit paddock area, cruise on down there. Absolutely no smoking in the pits. If anybody's caught smoking in the pits, they will be removed from the venue by their ears. So get down there, say good day to everybody. Keep your eye up in the sky for the jet, and make sure you check out young Blake and Max Candish out on the track as they provide the halftime show on their jet skis. We'll be back soon.